Thank you for joining us, Andrew. We had many conversations on this programme over the summer, over that long leadership race. And of course, in the end, Liz Truss won that. Did you ever think that simply 7 weeks later, this is where we'd be today?
Hi, Tom. No, I don't think anybody thought that we'd be where we are today, just 7 weeks later, but I am very glad that we are where we are. I think the last month has been a difficult period for everybody associated with the Conservative Party, and indeed a difficult period for the United Kingdom. So I think it was right that we had a short, sharp leadership process concluded yesterday, and I'm absolutely delighted that we are in the position where this morning, within the hour, I suppose, Rishi Sunak will be being invited to be King Charles III's first appointment as Prime Minister.
And we're expecting cabinet appointments after that, probably throughout this afternoon. I'm not going to be so bold as to suggest whether you expect a ministerial position, but do you expect that Rishi Sunak, being a colleague of yours that you know well, will he want a broad array of different people in his cabinet? Will it perhaps be a less seismic reshuffle than many might have thought?
Well, Tom, you wouldn't expect me to get drawn into discussions about reshuffles. The only person that knows who's going to be in Rishi's cabinet is Rishi and probably his chief whip at the minute. But yes, I think that it is very likely that at the conclusion of today, we will see a cabinet that represents all wings of the Conservative Party. The Conservative Party is a very broad church, drawn from different traditions and different parts of the country, and I think we're going to see a cabinet that represents that, and that's a very good thing. If one thing we have learned from the past months is that you cannot build your cabinet around purely whether or not they supported the individual who is now the Prime Minister, or that they come from the same ideological background as the Prime Minister. So I think we're going to see Rishi reaching out across the divides within the party so we can bring this party back together and move on and start governing in the national interest, which I think the British people, frankly, need and deserve.
It's interesting this morning looking at the array of front pages on the papers. One quote from the soon-to-be Prime Minister dominates. It's on the front page of The Guardian, of The Telegraph, of The Express, across the spectrum of papers. Unite or die is the phrase that Rishi Sunak told you and your colleagues in Committee Room 14 yesterday afternoon. What does that mean to you?
I think he's absolutely right. We need to unite as a party for too long. In fact, some people might actually point to this having arisen from the day of the Brexit referendum. The Conservative Party has been divided and has been at war with itself. We need to put a stop to that. We need to remember why we're in this game, why we're in politics, why we joined the Conservative Party and ran for election to the House of Commons in the first place, and that's to represent this country, to do for this country good things, you know, to take the country forward and to govern for everybody in this country, no matter where they are, where they come from, or what they do. That is why so many of us are in politics. That's why so many of us are in the Conservative Party. It's time we remember that, came together and started taking decisions and acting in the national interest and not in the selfish interest that far too many of us, my colleagues, even myself at times, have acted in the past few years. Let's get down to business and let's start working for the people of the United Kingdom.
And how will that be achieved with a party, a voluntary party, which of course rejected Rishi Sunak across the summer, across that wide-ranging and long-lasting leadership contest? How does Rishi Sunak bring the voluntary party with him in the coming days and weeks?
Yeah, obviously, there's a huge task there. But let's not forget that he did receive over 40% of the voluntary party's vote in the summer. They know and respect Rishi. They've seen what he does and what he can do when he was Chancellor during coronavirus. I think that it's actually a much... as soon as we start to turn the ship around, as soon as we start getting the economy in the right direction, as soon as we demonstrate to the party membership that we MPs are united as one behind Rishi as Prime Minister, I think they will see what we see, in that we need to get behind him and, you know, get out there and take the fight to the real enemy. That's not the opposition within the Conservative Party. We are now united behind one leader. The real enemy is the Labour Party and Keir Starmer and the separatists under Nicola Sturgeon. They're the people that we need to be fighting, not ourselves. And I think people in the party will recognise that, and I think that they'll see that for the good of our party that we all love and we all want the best for, they will get behind Rishi.